Hey, this is Tom at Talent Guitar Works, and I am a repair facility OEM builder in Southwest Florida. And today I am your guitar economics course on the Chinese and Asian guitars that are coming into the market via Amazon and Temu. And I'm trying to explain to people that have asked a lot of questions on the previous videos what's going on and how this is impacting them, and they have a lot of questions. So hopefully I have answers. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about a market share analysis, or the market share and who has it. Back in the 70s and 80s, it used to be the United States had the market share. We had about 65% of global sales on electric guitars, and acoustic guitars were included in there. Now that share is probably in Asia, the majority in China, and we have probably 35% in North America. So that would include Canada and Mexico as well as the United States. And the remainder is going to Europe. And it's a sparse spattering through Europe, and a lot of Europe buys Asian products anyway. So how did this happen and how did we get here? Well, in 1997, Epiphone moved from South Korea to China. And the Chinese factories, I'm sure, rotated lots of plant managers through there and farmed them out to other plants that weren't making Epiphone guitars in the People's Republic of China, because it still is a communist country. And people go, well, they have copyright laws. They did. Their first copyright law was in 1910, and then after World War II they became communist. And now, yes, they have copyright laws, and I think it's the Bremen Association tries to enforce this stuff. They have very little luck in China, because they will allow you to sue the Chinese government-owned factory for a copyright infringement in the Chinese government court using Chinese government lawyers. Good luck. Just good luck with that. That's a strong hurdle for you. Now, people will say, don't be xenophobic about this. I'm not. I was in China in the 90s. They have a hard time grasping capitalism, and they have a whole different ethics standard, and they have a different cultural standard on what they feel is acceptable business practices. So it's not like they feel they're stealing these copyrights or intellectual products. They feel that the first one to market with the product owns it. And everybody else, if you were doing the R&D on it, well, you don't own it. And, that argument could be fought several ways. And I know by the time I get done with this video, there are going to be people saying, I own a Chinese-made guitar. It's the best guitar ever. I'm not saying it's not. And I'm going to have just as many people say, I got hornswoggled into buying a Chinese guitar. So what's going on right now? Well, first is you have some push marketing strategy. You have a penetration strategy, and you have a predatory strategy, all going on at the same time. And the first two are the predatory and the penetration. The Chinese market is trying to break into the U.S. market. So you see the advent of Temu, you see the advent of a lot of Chinese products on Amazon. So that's one of the ways they're breaking in. Now, the predatory thing is the pricing. Now, if they price their guitars at $199 and it's below any North American or European guitar manufacturer's pricing, they're giving you a substitution for a product in a tight economy. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so what they're trying to do, right now we have a vertical market in guitars. And the auto industry also has a vertical market, and that's a top tier of guitars, a next one down, an alternative down from that, an alternative down from that at the bottom. And that's the way it goes. The more value to the guitar, the higher quality, the higher the price. What they want to change it to is a horizontal market, that you buy a guitar, electric guitar from any company, it's the same design, same style, same pickup, same components, virtually the same price, and they're just going to flood the market with these. So that's what they're looking at. And with the large market share they have, is it possible? Maybe. North Americans still like to punch up. They like to buy cars they can't afford, houses, etc., go on vacations they can't afford. So whether or not they do that with today's inflation, I don't know. This brings in the effective demand of the market. And the effective demand is how much a consumer will pay from their discretionary budget or their surplus funds that aren't used for needs, housing, food, insurance, medical, whatever, transportation, that they can use for their wants. I would want an electric guitar. I need transportation to work. I want an electric guitar. So the effective demand is going to be part of that. The contestable markets are also going to be part of that. So it may impact the lower end or the flank brands or flanker brands of existing products. So far it hasn't. Paul Reed Smith's flank brand or flanker brand is SE Guitars. Ernie Ball's flanker brand are the Ernie Ball Sterling guitars, which are a completely separate company. And they're copies of the American-made Ernie Balls, they're just made in Asia. So it may affect these flanker brands first. Now, the push marketing that they're using right now through Temu and through Amazon and through the social media guys is to tell you that there's a differential between the product that's being offered at $199 and what you are already getting at the existing companies, and that it's so much better. The problem is that the Chinese save money on cheap labor, lots of natural resources, and low quality control. They reject very little from going out the door. And once again, people are going to say, I got a great Chinese guitar. Yeah, you can get a great one. You can get a really bad one too. You can get a really bad American guitar for that matter. So stop with the xenophobe stuff. What I'm saying is when you are attacking an industry, you're flooding it. And when you flood the industry, you tend to put more stuff out there than is ready to go. So this is something to keep in mind. And I'm not going to tell you, hey, you need to buy X, Y, or Z's guitars, or these Chinese guitars are the best thing since, sliced bread, and you need to buy these. And I'm not doing that. I'm just educating you as to what's going on in the market and how this is going to affect the American guitar companies. Now, right now, we've seen an increase in prices in Epiphone guitars and in the Mexican-made and the Indonesian-made Fender guitars. Let's see how this horizontal market takes off that the Chinese are trying to introduce through Temu and all the other lower guitar companies. So this is Tom at Talon Guitar Works. Remember, only half my ideas are any good, so you got to decide which half. And I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.